I really like this question because it sounds like it's going to be crazy, right? The line y equals kx plus 4, where k is a constant, people hate those phrases, is graphed in the xy plane. Hate those phrases. If the line contains the point CD, where c does not equal 0 and d does not equal 0, what? What is the slope of the line in terms of c and d? If you hate math, this is like your worst nightmare, right? It's all those words in math that you just kind of like don't know and just everyone seems to be saying, all crammed into one question. But the things that you do know make this really easy to solve. Because what are we given, right? So when I see this question, I ignore all those kind of filler words, okay? They almost never matter. What does matter to me is that I have an equation and a point. And I know from taking a million SATs that one of my strategies is to plug points into equations. Whenever I've got both, plug the point into the equation. Why? Who cares? It's a strategy. Do it. And what does that mean? Well, x is going to be c and y is going to be d. So really this equation just becomes d is equal to k times c plus 4. Now why does that help me? Well, notice the answer choices don't have x and y, they have c and d, so that seems like a good thing. We got rid of these letters we don't want, we now have the letters that we do want. But the question is asking for something that we also really understand pretty well, hopefully, the slope. We know that every line follows the traditional format, y equals mx plus b. Now the letters may change, but the structure remains the same. And we know that m normally represents the slope of the line, right? So what they're asking us to do is solve for the slope, or in this case, to solve for k. That's what all of these answer choices are equal to. They don't write it, but it's there, it's implied. So now this just becomes like a, normal algebra question. Move stuff around. So okay, I can do that. Well, first I would move the 4, right? Move things away from the variable, the k in this case that we're trying to solve for, and go from the outside in is how I learned it. So that means we're going to have d minus 4 is equal to kc, and then we got to get rid of that c, so we get rid of multiplication through division. It's going to cancel those out, and I don't really even need to rewrite it, but d minus 4 over c is equal to k. Is that an answer? Yeah. Choice A. And that's it. That's the whole thing. So this question that seems really intimidating is actually not so bad if we think of it in terms of our strategies. And I think that that's why I'm such an advocate of the strategies, is it's very understandable that we would get into this question and just be overwhelmed by the way it's worded. But the things you do understand are always going to be more helpful and more important than the things you don't. So work with what you do know, and odds are good you'll move the question along. And you'll see the things that you need to see, or you'll be able to interpret the stuff that you didn't know before in a new way. And suddenly this idea of like slope makes much more sense because, we understand we have a line and we can just start moving things around. I really like this question. So if you're struggling with the SAT math section, maybe bookmark this video because this is one to return to help you in those times when you feel confused by the wording of a question. It's almost always much simpler than it seems.